Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with Jonard Tools. Today's host is Wayne Bunce. He is their Sales Director of North America, and he will be presenting today. If anyone has any questions, please submit them in the question box, and Wayne will answer them at the end of today's presentation. Wayne, thank you so much for being with us today. I am finished for now. Please go ahead and take it on over.
Thanks, Julie. I appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to discuss Jonard Tools fiber products. We are one of the largest fiber tool manufacturers in North America with over 80 unique fiber items. But today, we're going to talk about fiber access tools and possibly get into fiber cleaning. So I'll go ahead and start. So as far as when it comes to opening fiber, we can do your buffer tubes, your jackets, we can do the outer jackets, and we manufacture Kevlar cutters, jacket removing tools, armor cable slitters, and we do a lot of mid-span products. So I'll go ahead and start. This is kind of like our introduction slide here. One thing that I want to point out, the do's and don'ts of cutting fiber, we recommend using a round cable cutter for fiber, not the diagonal cutters, because it tends to smash the glass. Even though you're not going to use the part where you cut, it just makes it easier for when you're stripping the cable to have a round cable at the end, because a lot of our tools have rollers on them, and so it needs a round cable to cut. So this is one of our basic fiber tools. It's a jacket removing tool, the CST 1900 and the CST 4000. These tools are unique because they can adjust to any depth. So if you have any soft jacket, not only fiber, but any PVC type of products on your jackets, on your cables, you can actually use this tool to remove the jackets. This will do a slit, a ring, and a spiral cut. So if you need to do end stripping, you would take the tool, adjust the blade length, and then this is like a clip you push up with your thumb. You would make sure the blade does not go into the conductor, and I recommend holding the blade up to the end of the cable to verify if you can. This little knob right here will adjust the height of the blade. So you just simply put the tool around the jacket, and if you want to do a ring cut, you would just take the tool around the ring. And if you want to slit the cable open like it is in the first picture, you would simply turn your wrist, and when you turn your wrist, it turns the blade with the cable at the same time. So all you do is you pull the tool down the cable and you would slit it. To do a spiral cut, this is there's a lot of other people manufacturing these type of products. We actually have a spiral feature in this tool. You would simply take the tool and right where my arrow is here, and you would pull it up, and it would turn the tool at like a 10-degree angle, and then you could do a spiral cut down the cable. The last thing that you can do with this cable is you can actually perform a mid-span tool, or a mid-span on the cable with the tool. You would slit the cable, and then you can either do a spiral or a ring between your two slits. So that's how you would do an access and a mid cable. So this is, like I said, one of my favorite tools. It will open up any soft jackets. It works really well on a lot of the fiber jackets. The armor cable slitter, we like to call it the cable saver. This is a really nice tool because a lot of the buried fiber or the outdoor type fiber will have an armor on it, and it's really hard to get into. So this will open any jacket up to 28.7 millimeters, but it works really well on armor cable. So this tool has a couple adjustments. It can do slit and ring as well. This little knob right here will let you either pick your slit or ring. This is your blade depth adjustment knob. This is the roller that I was talking about earlier when you cut your cable. Make sure you have nice round cable when you're cutting it, so when you get to the end, it makes it easier to strip. And this is how you adjust the tension on the roller. So you would take the cable, again, make sure your blade is not going to go into your conductors. Place it inside the tool, adjust the roller down, and then you would just take two hands and pull this down the cable. Like I said, this is such a unique tool and easy tool to use. If anyone's ever tried to get into this armored cable, this will actually slit to this little armor piece over here I'm pointing on the left. It's really hard to get into, and a lot of people cut their hands using this type of cable. So I always recommend using gloves when you pull out this AST 200. So there's many ways to deploy fiber, and it's either buried cable, aerial cable, and what application you're using. But one of the most common cables out there is what we call a drop cable. The drop cable is a rodent resistant type cable, and it's kind of shaped kind of weird. It's kind of rounded on the edges, I'm sorry, and it's flat in the middle. So you can see the fiber is going to be inside this cable, and it has two pulling strength members here that kind of protect it too. So this cable is real rigid and it's hard to get into. So we have what we call the FOD 2000. It has blades on both sides of the tool. So you would open the tool, slide it onto the cable, close the tool and pull it with the handles, and you'd slit. When we slit on the outsides away from the fiber. So when you get done slitting the cable, you would take your hands and twist the cable at the end, and it opens up just like a banana peel. This cable, again, is really hard to open. A lot of guys over the past have tried knives, and it's such a small cable, the knives kind of slide off, and it's kind of a slippery deal, so it's hard to slit. So this, the FOD 2000 is probably one of the best tools on the market for opening up flat drop cable. So when we're talking about fiber, and I'll get into the actual fiber construction on what they do and what we have to get into to get to the glass. Kevlar is used as a pulling member. So when you're pulling your fiber, it takes all the stress off the glass. So in each fiber, you would have a Kevlar strand, and it's just like horsehair. It's really hard to cut. So we have tools that are specifically designed to cut Kevlar. The JIC 186, which is on my right, JIC-186, is one of the most popular tools on the market. And then we have a flush cutting tool, the JIC-190. Like I said, both of these tools are good for cutting Kevlar and many other type of products. I've seen people cut all type of copper, PVC, and Kevlar with the 186. It's also used to cut mule tape for pulling fiber. So this is kind of our basic introduction to fiber that I like to talk about. We're trying to get down here to the core. As you can see, there's a lot of members of fiber, so it usually takes a couple different tools to get down to the actual cladding in the core. So, but we do have one tool that will do the whole process. Here's just another angle. You have your 900 micron, which we take down to 250 cladding, and then 125. We don't strip past the 125. So the actual glass is right here where my arrow is pointing. So we have a tool that will strip all the way down to the cladding. And that tool would be the JIC-375. It's a 3-hole fiber optic stripper. So the first hole will take your jacket, the yellow part that I showed you earlier. This is the jacket stripper. It can be anywhere from 1.6 to 3 millimeters. The second hole will do your 900 to your 250, and the last hole will be 250 down to 125. We do sell single step strippers. The JIC-125 will just do your 250 down to your 125. And the 2-hole version will do the 900 down to 125. But I always recommend people to use the JIC-375 because if you come across any jackets that you need to strip, this tool will do it all. So we have a couple of different products to get into slit and ring, and this is just an example one, the CSR 1575. Again, it's more of a small to medium type tool, small medium type cable type tool. But you can do a slit and ring with this tool. You can ring it and take your buffer tubes or your jackets off and some buffer tube. And this is just shows you an example of what you can do with the tool, or you can do a mid-span on a small cable. It does have a blade adjustment on the front here, so you can adjust this blade height. So you don't, again, I always recommend if you can get on the end of a cable to make sure you're not cutting into your conductors. And this is just a simple buffer tube ringing tool. A lot of loose tube fiber will be in buffer tubes, and you have to take that buffer tube off. This is a simple tool. This will go up to 6 millimeters. Most buffer tube out there that I run across is under 3 millimeters. But all you do is lay the buffer tube. This tool is self-adjusting. You would place the buffer tube inside the tool and you would ring it. And then you pull it off with your hands. Very simple tool to use. So Jonard Tools, we're kind of a unique company. We prep, clean, and test. We do everything up to the splicing machine. So we don't manufacture splicers, but all of our tools are used up to the fusion splicers, or if you're putting a connector on. So I'm speaking more like the mechanical type connectors. There are fusion splicing connectors out there as well. The quick sleever, whenever you're doing fusion splicing, you have to put a sleeve over the fiber. After your before you fusion splice it, you would put this on one end of the fiber, you'd place it in the splicing machine, and you would melt the sleeve over the fiber. What's really hard, what people don't tell you when you get into fiber splicing, putting these sleeves on is extremely difficult. They're extremely small. I can't see them very well. I have to stand about 3 feet away because of my eyesight. But this tool, you can load 15 sleeves in it, and it's just like threading a needle. You would push the fiber through the hole, and it's actually pushed into the sleeve for you. So it speeds up the process of putting your fiber sleeves on. This is a great tool, especially for people like me who are getting elderly in age. Another new product we came out with in 2021 was the RFS 100 ribbon fiber separator, and it does exactly that. It's just like a clothespin type tool. You would lay your fiber in the tool, close the tool, and then pull it, and it separates the fiber for you. We do have a fiber cleaver, as I said, we have a couple actually, but I mentioned that we do all the way up to the fusion splicer. So before you would put your fiber in a fusion splicer, before you put a connector on, you'd have to cleave your fiber. This is a 3-step cleaver. You would put the fiber into the holder, close the lid down, and then you push your thumb and it will cleave the fiber for you. So if guys are doing a lot of fusion splicing and they go through a lot of cleavers, I would take a look at the Jonard because it's priced competitively and it's a very nice unit. And then whenever you're doing fusion splicing, you would need a fluid dispensing container and a trash can. We always recommend picking up your fiber trash. If you ever had a piece of fiber in your finger, there's no way to get it out. You can't see it. It pretty much has to fester its way out, so it's painful. So we always recommend picking up your fiber scraps. Our cleaver does have a trash can that is built onto the tool, so you would cleave and the trash would fall into the trash bin. But we also recommend, if you're doing anything on fiber, to have a nice little trash can where you can put all your scraps into so you don't find it later when you're not looking for it. A spudger, it's used in all types of work, but they've been around forever and a lot of guys are using them for copper. We do use them on fiber trays as well. Simple tool. And excuse me while we do some promotional kitting. I don't usually talk too much about toolkits, so we'll move along, but we do have multiple toolkits to help splicers out there, fiber technicians, if they want to get stuff in bundles. I can tell you, you usually save around 10% when you buy things in kits from Jonard Tools instead of just buying the components individually. So we have multiple kits that you can go onto our website and look at. The MS series tools, this is one of my favorite products. It all started with the MS6 a few years ago, and we developed a lot of other tools. But a lot of times you need to access the middle of a fiber. And in olden days, we're talking stuff in the 3 millimeter, even like 1.2 to 3 millimeter range. A lot of guys would just simply cut their fiber in half and then they splice it back together, which is crazy, but I've had guys tell me to do that. We have tools that will actually let you access the middle of your fiber. We can go from 1.2 all the way up to 12 millimeter. Actually, 526. We trying to think this is wrong. It's actually should be 18 millimeters. Sorry, that is a typo. So this is just a breakdown again. So we could go from 18.2 millimeters all the way down to 1.2 millimeters. And these are slit and ring tools. So to use this tool, a lot of people don't know what size fiber they're using. So you would open up the fiber and there's a tray. Here's an example of the tray. You can just lay the fiber in the tray. And when you shut the tool, it should shut easily. And when you pull the fiber, it shouldn't be hard to pull. So you would just, if you want to ring the tool, you put it on the ring slide. You could ring the tool. And if you want to actually slit the cable, you would turn it over. I don't think I have a picture of a slit, but you can lay it on the slit side and see if we can go back here. You can actually do a slit as well. So one side tool will ring, the other tool will, side of the tool will slit. Again, this is for opening up the middle of the cable so you don't have to cut the cable in half to get into your fiber. We have actually won a lot of awards on this product. Cabling Insulation and Magazine, I think CIM, I don't know if that's the right name. They actually awarded an award for this tool. We have a lot of mid-span accessing type kits as well, where instead of buying everything separately, you can go to our website, look at our different kits. It will save you money buying things in kits. And they also come with a nice case so you can keep your tools together. The RC8514 is a riser cable slitter, and it does exactly what it says. Riser cable is usually going up and down in high-rise buildings, and it's really hard to get into. This will actually run down the side of the cable and make a window into the side of the cable, so you can actually slit the cable without destroying the cable or taking tire ups, or it's like I said, it's a tedious process, but a lot of times you need to break into this cable and pull fiber out. So we do have a tool for that application. When you deploy fiber, a lot of times guys are blowing into microducts, and microducts are hard, rigid plastic. They're hard to get into. We have a couple different tools to get into the microduct. This is our first series of just duct cutters. So if you need to cut a duct, we basically have 3 different size tools. We go from 14 millimeters all the way up to 64 millimeters, and that's all they do is they cut duct. But we do have tools that actually access duct, so you don't have to cut it in half. There's a insulated cable knife that you can slit into the duct. It's got a shoe so it doesn't damage the fiber. And it's used like any other knife. You just pull it down the duct and it'll slit the duct. My favorite tool is to use the RCS series tools. These are slitters and ringers used on microduct. This blade is adjustable and it's a double-sided blade. So if you break the blade, you simply unscrew the cap and flip the blade over. So it does come with 2 blades with each tool. The difference between the 25 and the 30 is the size of the blade itself. The 30 works really well on doing a spiral cut or a ring cut on your midspan. So if you want to do a ring instead of a slit, I would recommend doing a 30. The smaller blade dimension will let you do a ring cut better, but it will also let you stab the duct. So if you want to actually open up the middle of a duct in a trench, I would adjust the blade all the way out, and then you push the blade into the duct, and then you would adjust the blade back down so you don't go into your fiber. But that way you can actually stab and puncture a hole in the duct without cutting the duct in half. But to use this tool, you would adjust the blade depth, put it on the end of the duct for a slit, and then it works like a can opener. You would just take this handle and go up and down, and it will ratchet down the duct for you. So this, like I said, this is a really nice tool. I really like using it. It's easy to use. It will also work on PVC jackets on cables. So if you have a cable that we were talking about earlier that's really hard to get into, this ratcheting cable slitter will actually ratchet down cable as well. But it will do a slit and a ring. If you're on a duct and you want to do a ring, you would slit it and then you would turn the tool, and then you would go around the cable on a ring cut. So, and then we have some micro duct scoring tools for your thin wall stuff. We have two products, the 1416 and the 108. It will actually, just like it says, you put it on your duct and you ring it, and it will basically ring the duct and cut it open for you. Julie, checking on, we still have time. So let's talk about fiber cleaning. I can't stress how important it is to clean fiber. Whenever you touch a connector, whether you're testing or plugging in or unplugging, you have to clean it. Particles will cause reflection and cause issues with your network. It's so simple to clean your fiber, and this is not the way you clean fiber. You do not use your shirt. So this is a basic example of what happens when you don't clean. The light is reflected back. It's called reflection, and you have insertion loss. So we recommend, like I said, this is just a blown up picture of what a fiber connector would look like on the end. And any small particle of dirt will cause issues on your fiber. We have a bunch of different cleaning options. The most popular are the clip cleaners. And then there's some people that still like to do the liquid or the dry cloth cleaning. I recommend the clip cleaners. It's a lot faster and easier to clean, and it's no alcohol involved. So to use a cleaner, here's an example of what the end looks like. It's just basically a piece of lint on a tool. And to do a connector, you would take the cap off, and you would push the connector on, and you would actually push, and it makes a click sound when you're done cleaning. This will also clean your bulkheads. You'd remove the cap completely to do your bulkhead, but you leave the cap on and just remove the top. There's a little cap, like a hat that sits on it. You would move that. So we also do connector cleaning with the FCC 300. So whether it's connectors or bulkheads cleaning, we recommend buying the right tools. But here's an example. We blew this fiber up on a microscope, and this is what it actually looks like. And just to let everyone know, this is the fiber right here where my arrow is pointing. So the stuff on the outside, while we recommend cleaning it, this is what you need to clean. You need to make sure this area right here is clean. And, like I said, this is an actual picture that we did in our lab. So this is just an example of cleaning a bulkhead. We have several sizes available. We do MPO cleaning, and then we have the LC model, and then we have the SC, ST model. So if they're all color coded, the MPO is gray, the LC is orange, and blue is for the SC, STs, and FC connectors. So that picture I just showed you back here, this is the tool you use to actually look at it. These are fiber microscopes. So whenever you want to do a visual inspection of your actual fiber, this works just like a telescope. You would plug the fiber into the end, adjust your focus wheel, and you look in here. There would be a light button here that you would just push, and it will light up the fiber, so you can see what your fiber actually looks like. So visual inspections are good. Whenever you're working on your bulkheads and connectors, we have a couple different insertion tools, especially now that we're getting smaller. LCs keep getting smaller. The racks keep getting larger, high density racks, more fiber. It's hard to get your fingers down onto the connector to remove it or insert it or extract it from the port. So we have two different tools that will do the job for you, the FCT 100 and the 200. The only difference is the 200 is a little bit smaller on the end, and it works on the high density LC connectors. So both tools will work with the SC connectors as well. As I mentioned, we love kits. There's a lot of different kits available for cleaning and inspection. So Julie, this is where I'm going to stop. We can have another session where we can go over testing and measuring. So
Thank you very much, Wayne, for that wonderful presentation. And it looks like we do have some questions. So let's get started with, let's see here. Is asking, does Jonard Tools offer tap testing equipment?
what kind of test equipment?
Tap testing.
TAP, tap?
Yes.
So it depends on what they're testing. I don't really, like, if they're looking for loss, but we do our power meters and light source meters. So like I said, that's a whole nother session, but to answer your question, most likely, yes.
Thank you very much, Wayne. Question here for you. It's regarding warranties. What are the warranty devices for your devices and products? I believe someone said that your website offers a lifetime warranty. Is this for everything or a certain portion of your equipment?
Yeah, so it's real simple. If it's a tool that does not have a battery or a motor, it's a lifetime warranty. So all of our hand tools have a lifetime warranty. Our test equipment has a 1-year warranty.
Thank you very much for that clarification, Wayne. Next question here for you. Is it possible that our Microcom sales reps could get demo kits from you guys? Is it so that they could please see them? Do you have something like that?
We do. Yeah, we'd be more than happy to send out a toolkit. Yeah, more feet on the street. That's what we call it. So yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next question here for you. Will you also sell fiber optic couplers or adapters in the near future?
We will not get into that, no. We're strictly the test and tool type company.
Got it. Thank you so much. Next question here for you. This question is regarding the PSI 15. Where could one purchase the protection sleeves to work with your products? Do you sell those protection sleeves?
We don't sell sleeves, but Corning, AFL, OFS, everyone that has a fusion splicer, I think there's some NL, Ilsentech, Swift, UCL, all those companies that are doing the fusion splicers sell the sleeves.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. Next question here for you. Is there an electronic square footage measurement laser tool that you have?
No.
Okay. Can you tell us where your products are manufactured?
Yeah, so we are global. We do stuff in the States, and we do stuff in Asia as well. Depending on which product division it is, like our wire cable is made here in the States, like I said, but we are global.
Excellent, thank you. Wayne, can you tell us about anything exciting and new that you have planned for perhaps early 2022, and you know, that maybe that could be incorporated in our next segment of webinar with you? Yeah,
so we just came out with an OTDR that launched last week, and a product that we're actually really excited about, and it's kind of hilarious, but we came out with a technician backpack that just got launched 2 weeks ago, and it's doing extremely well. But we do have a lot of stuff in the pipeline as far as new test equipment. We're going to be going into the XGS PON world for fiber, and we're continually going to be developing wire insulation tools and more fiber products as well.
Excellent. I look forward to the webinar with Jonard Tools to follow up on some more exciting new products.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about.
Great. Thank you so much, Wayne, and thank you for answering all of those questions for us today. And also thank you to everyone for attending this webinar. And if anyone has any further questions, please feel free to contact your sales rep here at Microcom or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And if you wish to view any of the products mentioned or shown today, please visit us at www.microcom.us. And also remember, this webinar presentation has been recorded and uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so you can view it again. Wayne, thank you so much again for your invaluable information. I appreciate it. And until next time, everybody have a fantastic day.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye now.
Bye.